But then for the meeting, this is great because it just kind of refreshes everything. And I like having the dollar amounts in there. You know, so many committees, I mean, they don't put the dollar amount in. The other thing that I had suggested, no one ever took me up on it.
Looks
when
like
you
we're
Put it on
make it
the agenda on the computer. They should have page references for every resolution. You know, and they don't. So you gotta, yes, 600 pages, you know, you go, geez.
You don't have to finish them before you leave, but you can't leave them here.
Not what Blair said.
It's a cow that's caught in there. Walking.
Okay.
Don't give them to the dog, huh?
All right, well, committee members. Yeah, there are 5 boxes left. So somebody might have to share, but Ron, get you a box right there. That's for Melody.
Mr. Ford. Good morning. Look at that. That's right. You got plenty of time to catch up.
They're light and fluffy. They'll be barely count any calories.
How's that?
All right. Good morning. I'd like to call the Kane County Transportation Committee meeting of Tuesday, November 19th to order. Let's do a roll call.
Berman,
Berman's here.
Iqbal, Caius, Leonard,
Leonard here.
Roth,
Roth here.
Ford,
Board present.
Pepe here.
Doherty,
Here.
Davis.
That was here.
We have an in-person quorum.
All right. And one remote attendance request for Mr. Doherty under the health category. Objections anywhere? Seeing none. Welcome, Gary.
Thank you.
Oh. Mr. Caius, you're, I'm used to you being down here in the first row, so,
Where'd he go?
did you have
Never know where he's gonna turn up.
did you have a thought about minutes?
This is Caius. Perspective here. I would request for unanimous consent for the minutes of October 15th, 2024. For the approval of the minutes
Good.
All
without
right.
objection,
Looking for any objections? Seeing none.
changes.
So it is, or it shall be, or whatever the official wording is.
Approved.
Yeah, we'll go with that. Approved. All right. Under public comment, we have one person signed up, Mr. Anderson.
Should be interesting.
Good morning, Brian Anderson, Sugar Grove, Illinois. I apologize. This is the first time I've ever been to the transportation meeting. I wish I would have started to attend 19 months ago. I have been, for those that don't know me, I come to the executive meetings, come to the county meetings. Here's why I'm here today. At the last board meeting on the 12th, with the wrestling of the budget and passing the tax portion, and now we all know that the April 1st there will be a referendum. I was taken back a little bit by Chair Davos at the 1 hour and 55-minute mark, going on a bloviation that there's a group of citizens that come to the board meetings with their tax bill in one hand and their Bible in the other, and we're somehow misguided. For those of you that don't know me, I've been attending the board meetings for quite some time, talking about the essence of fiscal responsibility. You know, Mr. Davos went on to say that these citizens come with no solutions. So here's the reality. He's out. There'll be a new chair for transportation. I've had the luxury of spending a little time yesterday, not a lot, taking a look at the compensation of all of the employees throughout Kane County. I was amazed at the compensation for the people in the transportation. And so somebody's going to be the chair. Somebody's going to need to take a look at where we spend our money across the entire gamut, because if the referendum in April fails, which I hope it does, it will challenge the board members to actually do something. Work hard and take a look at, Mr. Davos, some of the cuts. What are the solutions? Well, I spent a rich career in corporate America, 35 years, and I did have one corporate downsizing. Last one hired, first to go. There's a solution across the board. Pay cuts, pay freezes, staff reductions, and eliminate, I don't know, maybe the impact fee program that we have. I thought I read that recently over in DuPage County, they just eliminated that and saved the homeowners nearly $1 billion in annual revenue. So I think if this does not pass, and forgive me, I'm a guy with a tax bill and a Bible, don't know a whole lot about what's going on. What I do know is that there are massive opportunities if this referendum does not pass to trim the budget. Mr. Davos bloviates about, well, this is Kane County. There are cuts being had in the 3,100 counties right now across the United States. People do lose their jobs. There are pay freezes, and there are consequences to not managing our budgets fiscally. I know my time is up. Thank you very much.
All right, finance. Justin?
The finance reports are in your packet. I can answer any questions if there are any. I will note that we were able to get the P-card expenses into the actual packet this month, which we have not been able to do in the past. If they are available when the packet is put together, we will put those in there from now on. If not, we will send an email.
How about that, Mr. Doherty? P-card details.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. Any questions then for Justin, finance on the reports? No? All right. In that case, we'll move on to maintenance. Mike?
Good morning. The report is in your packet. Just a few things to highlight. We did finish our final mowing of the right of way at the end of October. We are full blown into winter operations right now. Staff is installing 8 miles of snow fence throughout the county. That's to reduce plowing during the winter with blowing snow and drifting snow. The rain yesterday kind of slowed us down. It takes us about 2 weeks to get that snow fence installed. Currently, we have 15,000 tons of salt on hand, and we average about 8,000 tons a year, depending on the winter. One thing I would like to highlight is staff did do a live line training demo. We hosted 3 classes to all KDOT personnel from the maintenance department, along with other public works throughout the county and first responders from police, fire throughout the county. And then we hosted a night class with King County OEM, and we had about 100 participants in that OEM class. All in told, we trained about 300 people over 2 days. With that, Steve Hancock does an excellent job of talking about power lines and what happens when power lines go down. This stemmed from the July 13, 14 tornadoes we had, where we had multiple lines down throughout the county. And he does an awesome 4-hour safety presentation on what to do with that. So if there's any questions on the maintenance report, I'll move on.
Any questions? No, none? Oh, 300 people. That's great.
It was a good turnout, really good. So
Impressive. All right. You have a resolution for us as well on Adopt a Highway?
yep. So this month for Adopt a Highway, we have 2 new applicants, and then we have 4 renewals, and staff recommends approval.
Roth will make the motion.
Thank you, Mr. Roth, and Berman second. Questions, comments?
Berman. Caius,
Caius, yes.
Leonard,
Leonard, yes.
Roth,
Roth, yes.
Ford,
Ford, yes.
Doherty,
Oh, yes.
Davis.
Davis, yes. All right. Anything else you want to tell us, Mike?
There is snow forecasted, flurries this week, so don't rest assured, all trucks are loaded and we're ready to go.
All
We're
right.
monitoring the situation.
All right, thank you. All right. Let's plan the program, Jackie.
All right, good morning, everyone. In your packet is our monthly planning and programming report. You have the Kane Kendall Council Mayor's newsletter in front of you. It was also in the packet, highlighting that there is a call for projects through CMAP right now for CMAC, TAP, and STP shared fund. We are anticipating KDOT will apply for TAP funding for our Randall at Big Timber project on this call. We also know that the city of Elgin and the city of Aurora are also putting in applications, and we anticipate many more applications from other communities. The applications are due at the end of December, so we have some time yet. Moving on to the impact fee program, we continue to pursue the violations of our ordinance and with the assistance of our state's attorney's office. That has been very helpful to have them on board, working with us more closely so that we can follow the letter of the ordinance and make sure we're collecting the funds or the fees that we are supposed to be as part of that ordinance. We did put together some data for you. I'll bring that up on the screen. Went too far. So this is our impact fees by service area going back to the beginning of 2023. You can see that so far this year, we have had fewer impact fees collected. Our report for fiscal year 24 is through November 7th, and we're trending at 3.6 million so far this year. Last year, we were at 5.6 million. So fewer collections this year. Breaking it down for you more. You can see by service area each quarter what it looks like, how we've been collecting. And I also did a bar chart in a little different way so you can see the north, central, and south impact fees and how we have some different trends going on there. We are open to any suggestions on what you would like to see from this data. If there's any specific reports that you'd like us to bring, let me know, and we can do that from now on.
Mr. Roth, do you want to?
Roth here. I had a question, Jackie. The impact fee, if they're collected in the north region, those are spent on the projects up there.
Correct. Yeah, they have to be spent in the.
Right. And that's what I thought. I just wanted to confirm. Thank you.
Yeah, good question. All right.
Chair-
And then,
Mr. Chair,
Oh,
Caius?
yes, Mr. Caius.
I see it doesn't seem like there's any specific trend. It's down, but was there anything to highlight in that was less construction? Some of the other ones up a little ways, a couple slides up.
yeah, we took a look at actually some of the spikes that we had back in fiscal year 2023. I think it's easier to see on this particular report. So we looked at some of the commercial properties that we had collected from, and we did have two large speculative warehouse in the north service area, each of them over $100,000 each that we collected, and Woodman's had a couple of improvements in both the north and the south. So there were just more commercial that we saw compared to that same quarter this fiscal year. So nothing that really we could find that showed it. It was just still trend downward. It could be the interest rates. We talked a little bit about residential, and with mortgage rates still being high, that perhaps some of the residential had slowed down a bit, but yeah, that was what we found so far.
Thank you.
And then moving on to our Ride and Cane program, have those ridership data numbers for you for third quarter. So this is July through September. Put in second quarter just so you have a comparison, and you can see that we're still pretty much around the same numbers that we've had in the past. We continue to advertise the program using the marketing materials that we have. We did bring on a new sponsor. Rutland Township has joined the Ride and Cane program, so we're happy to have them aboard. That was as of July 1st, so they'll start generating more rides, and we'll be able to see that reflected on here. So that is my report for today. Any questions?
No, don't see any questions. We'll go to resolutions.
Yes. So the first one I have for you today is our annual Ride and Cane. Oh, no, sorry. This is, it is the Ride and Cane program. This is our annual agreement with PACE. They actually operate the Ride and Cane program. We just administer it. This year, we have budgeted a little bit more funding because we are going to be responsible next year for paying half of the cost up front, that local match to the federal funds, and then the sponsors will be paying Kane County back for that 50% match. All other years, each sponsor would pay PACE directly for their 50% match. So we have to appropriate that funding up front, but half of that will be coming back from the federal funds that we have received. So we recommend approval.
Roth will make the motion.
Leonard will second.
The question.
Have a motion and a second, and yes, Mr. Roth.
Jackie, Roth here. Is the new payment, is that more efficient or is that more work for us?
It might be a little bit more work for us.
It's a little more on us.
To work. Right now, we are working with our sponsors to ensure that they make their payments to PACE. So in a way, we are going to be continuing to do that next year. So really, this year is when we took on a little bit more work. So I think it'll just be steady next year.
Okay. Thank you.
Thanks. Along that same venue, are you billing them for each specific ride?
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
what I thought.
Every ride that yeah. They get to review their reports. Each sponsor receives a draft report of all the rides for the month, and they review them. If they have any issues, they call PACE. Sometimes there are rides on there that actually weren't for those sponsors, and they figure it out. Yeah.
Anybody else? Let's vote.
Berman,
Berman, yes.
Caius,
Yes.
Leonard,
Leonard, yes.
Roth,
Roth, yes.
Ford,
Ford, yes.
Doherty,
Yes.
Davis.
Davis, yes. All right. Tell us about the next one for technical services
Yeah, I'm looking for it.
and the RTA.
I don't see. Yes, okay, thank you. Yeah, you had already approved a technical services agreement with the RTA for federal funding for Section 5310 monies. We had put that agreement through with a different start date. It was originally starting May 1st, 2025 to January 1st, 2025. However, we realized that we needed to make, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said January 1st, 2025. We needed to move that start date to January 1st. When we put this agreement through, we were estimating how long that prior grant would last, and it was exhausted earlier. So fortunately, the RTA just lets us put through a resolution and a simple amendment to the initial agreement. So this is just making an amendment saying that we will actually start that funding January 1st this year instead of May 1st, and that we'll be able to access those funds sooner. Recommend.
Roth will make the motion to approve the amendment.
Mr. Roth moves.
Ford second.
Mr. Ford, second. Any questions?
Caius. That doesn't change the funding really, just it's the start date.
Yeah, just the
Only-
start date. And we
only the-
actually, I think, have it out to 2028 in the agreement.
Anybody else? All right. When you're ready.
Berman, yes.
Caius,
Yes.
Leonard,
Leonard, yes.
Roth,
Roth, yes.
Ford, yes.
Doherty,
Yes.
Davis.
Davis, yes. Solution passes. Jackie, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Anything that we don't have on there? You want
No.
to share? No? All right. In that case, yours. Permit me to call on you.
I have to turn my mic on, sorry. Hello, good morning. Our permitting our permitting report was in your packet. If you have any questions, I'll gladly try to answer them. Otherwise, that's all we had today.
Looks like it still fills a whole page in relatively small font. Imagine that. And it will always be this way.
You couldn't see it at all.
Right. Anybody have any
this-
questions? Mr. Roth?
It appears, is it down, at least on access?
There were a couple of major accesses that were completed.
Okay,
One of those was along Big Timber Road at Providence, so then we did remove that from our list.
okay. So that's
Progress.
thank you.
All right. Anything else that you want to share with us before we move on?
No, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Turn the page. Kurt, you're up.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Traffic operations report this month showing the work of the team over the past month. I just pick out a couple highlights. The first would be an enhancement that we're doing to a pedestrian crossing up in the village of Hampshire, adding a flashing beacon to an existing crossing of Allen Road at Harmony Road. The beacon will just bring some more conspicuity. That's a fancy word. Just make it more noticeable to the motorists on Allen Road. The other thing I would point out is our plans for Burlington and Silver Glen. We will be making that an all-way stop here in the near future. And specifically, we're gearing up to putting up overhead flashing red beacons just to alert motorists well in advance of the intersection. So as they approach it, there should be no surprises about that new always stop condition. The only thing there is that we're reliant on ComEd power to be arranged to be able to activate that. So that's kind of the holdup there. But in the near future, we will have always stop there when all the pieces are ready to go. So that's the report for this month. Any questions on this?
I know there are some constituents nearby that intersection that have been longing for some changes, so that'll be welcome.
That is correct. We did an analysis a while back and decided that and found that the warrants were met for that condition. So
Bit of a trouble spot. Yep. All right. All right. Any questions on the report?
I mean, Kurt just answered my question. That, because of the angle of the streets, it was
there was
a
some
hard one to
technical-
stop and look, to see.
Right,
So-
and there were some technical challenges to how exactly we make some of the features work with
Right.
fitting them in the standards, but
Okay.
yeah, the warrants were met from the guidelines that we're obligated to follow.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Mr. Doherty, you have a question, comment?
I do. Instead of an expensive ComEd power line, couldn't these be operated on solar?
That is a possibility. It gets a little trickier with the overhead flashing beacon. By that, I mean a beacon that's really kind of floating in the air above the intersection and at the intersection of the center lines. So that gives the best visibility to all four approaches to the intersection. It's possible that a solar feature could be put there. It would be a little bit unique. And there's always the possibility that batteries go out over time, and there would be some amount of time where those aren't noticed, whereas the ComEd power is pretty stable and pretty reliable. So that's the hardwired connection for a feature like this is the much more standard way to go.
I'm confident that staff looks for all opportunities to, do cost savings like solar, Gary. But, safety first. It has to be absolutely reliable, or we haven't really addressed the issue properly. So, but I'm sure that staff will always be looking for opportunities to augment or replace with cost savings measures like solar.
I could also say that, we do have quite a few solar based features out there. Those are usually beacons that are set right close to where the solar panel is. That wouldn't work here, but I'm sure we've all seen flashing beacons that are roadside, flashing features that are around special stop signs. And those driver feedback signs, those are all solar powered because it's just a better fit for those applications.
you have a fixed point and it's physically more able to make the connections. Yep. All right. Any other, Mr. Roth?
I think I know the answer, but was any look at making this a roundabout if that's possible? I know it's costs a lot more, so that's one good reason not to do it, but.
We do have a project in the design section that will be starting next year to look at the feasibility of a roundabout there.
Okay.
So something in the meantime that we could do right away to help.
Yeah, for safety reason, I
Safety reasons,
agree
yeah.
100%.
Yeah, but we will start an engineering study in 2025 to look
Okay.
at different required alternatives that
Okay.
might be warranted there.
Okay, thank you, Jennifer.
And you're hearing from somebody that knows something about roundabouts, so. All right, any other questions?
No, Ralph will make the motion.
Okay, well, I don't think we had a chance to have Kurt tell us about the resolution first, but I appreciate you guys being enthusiastic and we have a motion in a second.
So we can read, so we.
Yes.
These meetings.
Now that we have a motion in a second, Kurt, tell us about our IGA with the good folks of Illinois and playing nice with them on traffic management systems.
Sure thing. This is just a cooperative agreement between the county and IDOT for integration of IDOT traffic signals into KDOT's fiber optic network. This is something that is already in place, but this agreement would just kind of formalize that arrangement. IDOT is going around to the neighboring counties seeking this same standard agreement with counties that have arterial operation systems like we do, Will, DuPage, Cook. So this essentially is just formalizing the ability of IDOT to reach into the county's network and touch and access the state intersections that are already on our network. So real changes here, but it's something that IDOT was requesting. So we're asking for approval.
All right. Mr. Ford, you have a question?
Now, just
Or comment?
a comment.
Comment, all right.
So, hearing about the fiber, I'm not an IT person, so that's my claim. But I do understand the starting more and more to understand the value of fiber. I always knew that there was a value there. I just came from a meeting earlier last week about what Aurora is doing with their fiber. And I've heard comments about the education situation throughout King County, places that we think is doing good, but it sounds like it may not be. What Aurora is doing is making more and more use of the fiber. And one thing is they're making the fiber available to communities that may not have a chance to have internet service. And they actually have put a price to it of services at I think it's like $50. And then those who can't afford it, they're talking about either 20 or $25. And that research has already been done. And that's something in the future the county can tie on to. And the other part is they're taking the time out to take downtown Aurora and connect all the business owners to the fiber. And when we talk about opportunities for income, these are great ways to bring income into the county. So this fiber, I believe that you could help me out here. I think we've been told we're only using like 5 or 15% of it. So therefore, it's a great opportunity in the future for all those board members still here to take a look at the value of this fiber to the community. That's it.
The fiber optic stuff is great. It was a long time coming and being able to use it now. In transportation terms, Ron, I think, you're a carburetor guy. Little big, like Holly 780 4-barrel kind of thing. And so when fuel injection came along, you're like, I don't know about that. But yeah, it's good stuff.
Give me the spark plugs any day of the week.
But he's catching up now. See? He now appreciates the value of these more modern approaches to things. Mr. Roth.
I know this is just the agreement. Is there any additional funding we can get from the state to help pay for us? And most of our fiber is in place, correct? It's not like we're adding a lot of new fiber at this point.
Well, I would say that for the vast majority of where KDOT has fiber in the rights of way, we are joined by an IT fiber cable, by
Right.
the Kane IT. And I know they do lease out their fiber, and it's quite it's pretty typical for their fiber to be 144 pairs, whereas ours are 36, in some areas
Right.
even less, maybe 24.
Right.
And I know the IT department, we had a partnership, have a partnership with IT for many years now, where they inhabit the same KDOT conduit. So we're in the same house, but we're different functions. And so we kind of made the staff decision in the past that we thought it best to keep the KDOT traffic signal fiber distinct from the IT, because they were going about their business and sharing fiber with customers and making those kind of arrangements. So there is quite a bit, as you say, of growth potential. I guess I would suggest that happen on the IT side of
Right.
fiber
Right.
For security. and
Appreciate
other
your
reasons.
optimistic thinking, but no, Illinois didn't offer him one.
All right. Except we
That's-
did pass,
that might
we
be
did get the law passed. We did get the law passed. At least we can resell now.
Yes.
Which the lobbyists took away from us 10 years ago.
Right. No, we're
Um,
gonna be able to monetize it.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, Mr. Rickard.
And it's not.
Yeah, I was just gonna share that when we initiated much of the fiber along the right of ways, a lot of that was paid for with federal funds. And so there's probably close to $10 million that initially 20-some years ago was put into that system. So there has been opportunities, as well as in new construction projects. We utilize our opportunities there to get federal and state funds to go towards some of the new connections.
I mean, there's a big project. I think Illinois is sponsoring the extension on broadband. One of the outputs of COVID was you found out which areas didn't have access to the internet. I think 1 in 6 students in CPS were attending remote because they didn't have internet access. So it's becoming more like the other utilities where it should be a given, because that really hurts certain school districts if you can't get to the internet. So,
Fair enough.
thank you. Thank you.
I
All
just
right.
want to say one more thing.
Yeah.
So the fiber should be looked at just like water service. So believe it or not, your water service, you're not paying for water. I don't care how high your bill is. You're not supposed to be paying for water. What it is, you're paying for the service it takes to get the water to you.
And for
what
delivery.
Delivery and maintenance of it and any future emergency repairs. So that's how the fiber should be looked at. Yes.
You guys get all that?
Not for them, they understand it.
All right. You guys ready to vote now?
Yeah.
All right.
Berman. Berman, yes.
Caius,
Yes.
Leonard,
Leonard, yes.
Ross,
Roth, yes.
Ford, yes.
Doherty,
Yes.
Davis.
Davis, yes. All right. Thank you, Kurt. Jennifer?
Good morning.
Good
Yes,
morning.
yesterday we opened 4 bids for the Bunker Road Extension project, and the apparent low bidder came in at 2% under the engineer's estimate. So we're very excited to bring that construction contract for you next month. And you'll see tree removal and pre-construction activities begin shortly after county board approval. Those are our highlights for this month, and we can move on to photos.
The best part.
Crews are finishing up punch list items and landscaping at all of our project sites as we prepare for the winter season. This includes Long Meadow Parkway and the Doberman Road Extension, which opened to traffic at the end of October. KDOT is also happy to report that the Fabian at Western intersection improvement project is now open to traffic.
I have to go that way almost every day, so I really appreciate that.
Yeah. And that's all we have for this month with photos. We can move on to our first resolution if you
No
like.
teasers of the Bunker Road one?
No, no
little
teaser
before?
photos.
Huh? All right. All right. Go ahead and tell us about the resolution first.
Sure.
I know these guys are gung ho and ready to give
Yes.
us a motion in a second.
Yeah, as the Kirk Road Bridge replacement project nears the pre-final plan stage, KDOT and the Union Pacific Railroad have been working together to prepare an agreement for the replacement of that roadway overpass. And staff recommends approval of the attached overpass agreement with the UPRR, which includes our construction and maintenance agreement and our right of entry agreement, with associated costs of $156,185.
Roth will make the motion.
Ford seconds.
Second by Mr. Ford. Always fun to deal with the railroads.
Yeah,
I do have a question on that project. Will the road be closed similar to the project down in Batavia?
no, it won't.
Okay, thank you.
We will close it half at a time. So it will be reduced down to one
Right,
lane in each
okay.
direction as we replace half the bridge for one whole season. Then the following season, we'll shove the traffic onto the new
Okay.
bridge and replace the other half.
Thank you.
Family. Mike, right? No?
Yeah, I was surprised with the closure down in Batavia there. That was,
All right. So we have a motion in a second.
Berman,
Berman, yes.
Caius,
Caius, yes.
Leonard,
Leonard, yes.
Roth,
Roth, yes.
Ford, yes.
Doherty,
Doherty, yes.
Davis.
Davis, yes. How about some on-call phase 3 engineering? Want to talk about that?
Yes, in 2023, KDOT staff utilized our QBS process to select Ciorba Group for on-call Phase 3 engineering services. The agreement was for 2 years with the option of a third year not to exceed $150,000 and was approved by the county board in 2023. As part of these services, Ciorba completed construction observation for us in 2023 for $150,000. And then last year, there was an approved amendment number 1, which increased the contract by $350,000 to allow Ciorba to perform construction observation at the Fabian at Western project. And we would like approval today for this amendment number 2 to the same contract for construction observation for the proposed recessed reflective pavement marker contract that will be constructed during 2025 for an additional $350,000. That would bring our agreement total not to exceed from $500,000 to $850,000 and extend the contract for a third and final year.
Roth will
Purple
make the
move.
motion.
Well, I think Bill might have gotten you.
That's fine. Leonard can be first. I'll
Leonard
second.
moves, Mr. Roth seconds.
I do have a question, Mr. Chair.
Okay.
What's the life expectancy of the reflective?
Depends on how good Mike's plow guys are with the, going over those things.
Or not good?
It really does depend on the conditions of the roadway. When brand new road, you'll see good 10, 15 years out of them. Usually they'll last as long as until the road needs to be repaved. But there are a lot of factors, how the winter is, but we do have a maintenance plan of replacing them. And when we do replace like a mile long section, it's maybe 1 or 2 or 3 that need to be re-glued back down. And then those are the ones that are usually popping again. The glue that we use just isn't the same quality that the contractor would use. So.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Nope. All right.
Berman,
Berman, yes.
Caius,
Caius, yes.
Leonard,
Leonard, yes.
Roth,
Roth, yes.
Ford,
Ford, yes.
Doherty,
Doherty, yes.
Davis.
Davis, yes.
I did have a question.
Doherty had a
Mr.
question.
Doherty, question? Go ahead.
Yeah, we're up to $1 million. Can you give me a little more detail on exactly what they're doing?
Yes. We are required to have a resident engineer at all of our construction projects, observing construction activities to make sure they're meeting the contract requirements and also calculating quantities to make sure that we're paying for the correct amount of materials at each construction site. And due to the small staff that we have in-house for construction inspection, we have been hiring outside companies like Ciorba to be present at construction sites for us to assist with construction observation activities. Does that answer the question?
This is what, Gary, this is what happens if you don't protect things like the RTA allocation, or if you're asked to sort of stand down on hiring while, studies are done. The work still has to be done, and there's rules about how it's done and observation in this case. And we have to hire outside, which costs more than if we had adequate staff, of our own to do it. So as I go out the door, I will, plead with all of you, well, not staff, they understand the problem, but whoever will be here, populating the transportation committee in the near future to guard those funds jealously, be adamant about the importance of, the transportation projects and how this is done. And don't let anybody tell you that it's not part of public safety, because it is. And when we get to a point where we can hire the number of people that we should have, it will actually cost less than the way we're having to do it now, quite often. That's how we got to $1 million, Gary. All right. Any other questions? No. We have one more resolution.
Yes.
Jennifer?
In 1998, the city of Elgin was granted a permanent exclusive easement for the construction and maintenance of municipal water main and sanitary sewer line within the right-of-way at Randall Road between I-90 and Illinois 72. Currently in design, it has been determined that our Randall Road at Illinois 72 intersection improvement project will require grading improvements in this permanent exclusive easement. Staff recommends approval of this agreement to remove the exclusivity of this easement with no associated cost in order to allow the county to improve the intersection of Randall at 72.
Roth will make the motion.
Second.
Thank you. Any questions? Smoothing the way so that we can smooth the way.
Smooth.
Let's vote.
Berman,
Herman, yes.
Caius,
Dice, yes.
Leonard,
Leonard, yes.
Roth,
Roth, yes.
Ford,
Ford, yes.
Doherty,
Yes.
Davis.
Davis, yes. Any thoughts about reports?
Reports on file. Would you like to make them
Oh,
request?
yes.
Roth would request we do unanimous approval to put the reports on file.
I like that idea. Dale, you agree?
Yes.
Yeah,
Definitely.
all right. Everybody else?
Definitely.
Okay, that's what we'll do then.
Mhm.
Would you like to have an executive session?
No.
Would you? No? All right. Anybody for the good of the order that wants to talk about any new business? Mike? Tom? No? All right. Yes.
Yeah, I just want to say that this is our last transportation committee meeting, and we've got 3 individuals on our transportation committee that will not be with us and going into the future. And I just want to say what a privilege it's been working with Ford and Mike Kenyon and Mark Davis, and just want to say that it's been a great many years, and we've done a lot of projects together, and staff has been very appreciative of all your efforts, and thank you very much. And look forward to hopefully seeing all of you in the future when you're doing new endeavors. So thank you.
Tom?
Mr. Davis, you can do adjournment motion.
We haven't caught you speaking.
I'm gonna take just one more moment while you're here. Again, it's not on our agenda, but it is ongoing. It will come back. The Randall and 64 intersection, we were not able to bring that to a resolution, during my time remaining here. Compromise is afoot. And I want to make sure that you guys all understand that, you know, you've come back, you look at the warrants, you look at the rules, you do the engineering, and then we collectively, you know, start trying to change it or question it or make it fit, you know, so the project can be done. At no time is that intended, at least not by me, to reflect any lack of respect for the work that you guys do. And it's simply a nod to the realities of politics, commerce, economics, desire to serve the public with things that they're going to enjoy having. And so compromise seeps into it. I want you guys to remember that it's not meant to be disrespectful to your work. For the good folks of St. Charles, if they're listening. A couple of remaining items that we didn't quite get worked out. One of them is about impact fees. And I think their complaint was that we were asking them to be the enforcers. I don't see it that way. It's something that exists for everybody in the county. And unfortunately, we're in a position right now where with St. Charles, permits become, get issued before it's actually collected, and we have to go chasing after it. I hope in the spirit of the negotiation that is to come soon, that they understand that we're just asking them to play nice with, with the system like everybody else does. And, impact fees, at least for now, are a reality. So it's, it's not trying to make them be the bad guy. The last one was questions about IEPA, proximity to St. Charles water well across the street and a little bit to the north. I have struggled to get a clear, concise answer on whether it was going to be possible or not possible, so that we weren't trying to give our recommendation or support to something that had no chance. To the best of my ability, the answer is that there is light at the end of that tunnel for them, that there's new technologies and agreements that would allow them to be that close to each other. As long as somebody's able to bring that forward to you guys, I do hope that you find a way to make this possible, because having that property continue to just languish and be empty really serves no one. So good luck with that. To those of you that will still be here, you're going to see it. It's going to come back. Keep an open mind and try to get it accomplished for the good of the community.
You're gonna give Mike Kenyon it.
It's been, I think I said before, when I first started on the board, a guy named Jan Carlson got a hold of me and brought me to transportation in my very first time here. So I guess it's fitting that it's where I end up. I would make a motion to adjourn and accept the second from Mr. Ford, since we're both.
I just want to say if Mike get it. I mean, usually he has something to
Yeah,
say. so.
well, I'll let him talk, but he's not actually on.
But,
it. I mean,
this has been a great experience. We've met a lot of good people and genuine people who do the best they can. So it's a great county. I think it's the best county in the state. We have good reason to be proud of our transportation department and what they do to make
Yes, we do.
it safe.
All right.
All right. So before
Yeah, no, go ahead.
I just want to say, so I actually went to school and graduated, and my claim was become an architect, and I did get a chance, and I still have experienced that. But on my second job, when I was in my younger days, when I had hair in my head and things like that, I got introduced to civil engineering, getting a job working for the engineering department of Downers Grove. And with that, I fell in love with civil engineering. And the guy I worked for decided I should go back to school, which I never cared for. I have a hard time sitting still and paying attention all the time, right? As you guys might have noticed. But I would say to our staff, you guys have been great. It's tough because people don't understand when you have these projects, that was mentioned today, how it's required to keep an engineer on job site. That is so important. Things happen on a regular basis. You're digging sometimes where you never dug before. You never know what you're gonna find. And to keep the job moving, somebody has to be there to witness and be able to make decisions, sometimes on the spot. Things stop and then you gotta figure out how to get them back started again. All kinds of things go on. And keep trying to explain it to them. I know it's redundant, but maybe enough people catch it where they understand what it takes to really get these projects done. They're not simple.
No, and sometimes the explanation is counterintuitive. You have people that say, you know, rumble strips, stop signs. And of course, we have years and years and years of historical data that that sometimes say that's not the answer. But explaining that to the public, not always an easy thing. So the three of us will be gone. You guys will still be here faced with all those challenges. And but I know you're up to it. So
So
Thank
with
you.
that, on behalf and in honor of our leader, Mike Kenyon,
What?
I move we adjourn.
Oh, good for you. Take you back, when I was first on the Farm Bureau Board, we would sit there at the end of the meeting. And there were people then that were older than me. And they'd sit and I'd say, don't we want to go home? So you'd have to move to adjourn this. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, that's what I want. Get you back on the straight.
all right. Well, I think Mr. Ford made the motion. I'll second it that we adjourn. So if I try to say anything more, you know, I'll choke up. So I'm out. All in favor?
Aye.